3, 2, 1, penis.
All right, so we're back with part 3. Continuing to discuss the payback card here. Part 3 is I'm willing to bet it's not the number one card for me, or number one match on the card for me, but for these guys probably is.
Pretty close.
It's number 2 for me.
It definitely could steal the show.
Yep, and that being Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, which is going to be a tremendous match.
Yeah, and I mean, it's weird because the Callisto Ryback thing I diss because like we've seen it a bunch already.
Right.
And I've seen this a bunch already, but I don't feel bad about that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So,
well, you know what? It's different every time, even though it's the same. It's two guys who both can put on an incredibly good match,
and both know each other well enough that they are willing to go for spots with each other that you won't see as frequently. Yeah, no, it should just be. I'm really. That's one of the things on the card where it's like that. I was like, it's already looking better than WrestleMania. It's got that going for it.
It's strange to me that match. That's interesting because Kevin Owens was in probably the best match at WrestleMania 2, but that's neither here nor here. It's interesting to me because this is one of 2 matches on the card that aren't for a title, really. And this and the golf match. I mean, the rest. The tag match isn't really for the title.
Yeah, there's also.
Sure. Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
There's actually quite a few that aren't for anything, but they've built up decently enough that it doesn't matter.
Better than they have in the past.
Yeah, it's been really strange actually, because a lot of it's just really basic.
Yep.
Building. I mean, even the Dolph Corbin, that hasn't been built up a ton, but it's still more than a lot of the matches going into WrestleMania that they just kind of threw against a wall.
But I think this match it'll be the Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. You can't go wrong with this match. I'm kind of shocked that I'm not, but I am. That Payback we're seeing a match like this there. I understand that Payback traditionally is your lowest grossing card as far as bringing fans in.
Though they flipped it around at the spot this year because it's usually Extreme Rules and Payback, and they flipped it this year.
Okay.
So
they have to set up more views.
Yeah.
Well, it's you get out of WrestleMania and usually
the malaise sets in. Yeah.
Who wants to see Reigns versus Styles in an Extreme Rules match? Or anything goes.
Well, right.
Hardcore.
Well, half the time the Extreme Rules matches aren't that extreme anymore anyway. So
kind of like the WrestleMania Lesnar and Ambrose.
Yeah. Right.
I'm gonna hit you with a chair once. Done.
Can you tell that we may be a little bit spited from the
we didn't even watch it.
Well,
the network messed up and we didn't even get to see it and we didn't miss anything.
it was dumb. But
we didn't have that issues for that long, and it was done by the time we got back, which says everything.
I think that this is going to could arguably be the funnest match to watch on the card.
Mm-hmm.
It's two talented guys. You're going to see some crazy stuff. I mean, you're not going to see anything really insane.
Well, and the crowd's going to be into it, and you get a crowd that's into it, and you give Kevin Owens reign to yell at them and berate them, and that in and of itself is amusing. So,
ultimately, I think the thing that I like the most about it is if the crowd is into it and they're letting these guys work the crowd, you don't need to listen to the announcement.
Yeah.
This is the point where I'm going to share my views about what I've seen on Raw the last bunch of weeks, and that's I've actually lost interest in wrestling, not because of the wrestling or because of the storyline, because I hate the announce team that much.
Yeah, JBL is especially horrible. Though, to their credit, the actual WrestleMania commentary
was decent.
Yeah, it was surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Like, compared to previous years, they shut up and let the matches speak for themselves and actually called some fairly esoteric spots.
Yeah.
Rather than talking about what was trending on Twitter. So.
Yeah. But no, okay. Yeah. Prediction, guy.
I'm gonna lean towards the double disqualification just because they're gonna be in each other's face constantly, and because the wheels of fate are cruel, Sami Zayn will get hurt.
Wow.
Okay.
You are a dick. Yeah, like I don't know, like they're doomed to keep fighting each other forever and ever and ever as long as they're both still wrestling. So no matter what, this isn't the last time we're going to see this match, which kind of leads me to believe that Owens is going to go over in some sort of cheaty finish so that we can have an excuse to just keep setting them up again.
I think that we see. In my opinion, it's Kevin Owens wins. Probably. I mean, potentially in a cheaty manner. I think ultimately to set up either an end to the feud or an end to the feud for 6 months at either SummerSlam or maybe if they stretch it out longer at Survivor Series. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is obviously something where if you it's easy enough to keep it going, and this could easily be get a title on one of them, and this is a match at SummerSlam for sure.
And I just my thought is you see the initial feud and SummerSlam Survivor Series in that era. I was thinking SummerSlam Survivor Series, one of them gets a strap, so that you set up a Royal Rumble match for next year for a title that everybody wants to see.
So you're thinking of still planning things that long, right? That's why I'm like SummerSlam is about as far as we can go for at this point.
I guess I need to think about the fact that they plan nothing in advance. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd be setting up for a Royal Rumble title.
Amazing alternative theory. We end up with another match down the road. That's a retirement match. Sami Zayn loses and has to come back as El Generico.
I'm all right with that.
You can have a triple tag team with Uno and Dos.
Yeah, Uno and Dos. That would be awesome as well. I mean, Uno and Dos aren't at all hurt, retired.
Well, no, they weren't Edge and Christian.
It wasn't Edge and Christian at all.
They're fine.
They proved it.
In some form, they were Christopher Daniels and somebody else that could be coming to WWE soon anyway. So.
Oh, funny. But yeah, anything else? Any other opinions on this?
Yeah,
it's funny that matches that we actually want to see, we don't have a whole lot to say.
Well, I mean, the big thing is they're going to keep it going somehow.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the end of a feud that they've. To be fair, because this is the first time anybody who only watches main roster and doesn't pay attention to NXT or indie wrestling, this is the first time they're seeing it.
Yeah.
To the point where they had to produce the fourth in a series of video packages explaining to you their rivalry. So yeah, I mean, it's a feud that they know works, and they can get 3 matches out of at least.
To be 100% fair, going back, it wasn't like I had paid attention to it. I mean, I dropped out of wrestling for so long, but I was like, I was like Kevin Owens feuds with this guy named Sami Zayn, and I was expecting like a Sid Vicious size guy, and I'm like, wait a minute.
No,
You mean he's not 7 feet tall? I'm confused, and he's an amazing wrestler. He's a good worker. I like watching him, but also I believe I asked Guy the first time I saw him. I'm like, what is he, a gay 80s dude? Is that?
No, he's Scar.
And then as his gimmick became more prevalent on television, I started to realize this. But
And he's Canadian.
Yeah, Syrian Canadian.
Oh, God damn it. I can't like him anymore.
Well, the great thing was they had him in some one-off weird tag team with Ambrose on SmackDown, and the one promo they cut together just makes me want them to be a tag team for a while, because they were more focused on what their tag team needed to be named, and apparently Ambrose had been shooting down all of his suggestions like Ska Madness, and yeah,
That would be a zany take.
and Sambrose, and then Ambrose wanted Rough Riders, but that was too sexual.
But anyway, I think that's all we have to say about this. So we will move on